We could just stop there. Serve the Lord. Follow, lead, move on, be ardent. Serve the Lord. But of course, that's not all. We're to rejoice in hope and be patient in suffering. Now, I don't know about you, but patience really isn't my long suit. I'd rather stuff, you think about it, you figure it out, implement it, and you go on to the next thing. That would be a good way to be. Doesn't always work out that way, but when it doesn't, come back, figure it out again, try something else, and then are ready to move on. Being patient in suffering is a learned attribute for me. And I think it's related to this rejoice in hope. One of the commentators on this passage makes the comment that you don't rejoice in hope if you have what you're seeking for. You're not rejoicing because you've arrived. You're rejoicing in hope. You're rejoicing in expectation. And that is related to what helps us to be patient in suffering. We know that things will change. We know that as we have just participated particularly in the memorial service, we know that we are headed towards transfer and promotion, as someone said yesterday. That's that hope, that expectation, that knowing that the will of God will finally triumph. And in fact, that effort has already been completed. God has already decided that providence will win. Helps us to be patient in suffering. Alongside that, of course, we're to persevere in prayer. Every day. Every day. Constantly giving thanks. Praying without ceasing. The prayer calendar is a wonderful aid to it, but I don't think that completes what Paul was thinking about by saying persevere in prayer. Keep on. The family matter that you wrote on the slip and left in the chapel. The expectation for what God might do in Cambodia. The vision of how your church could be a vital part of your community. Your hope for your daughters and your granddaughters and those young women in your congregation who could be part of United Methodist Women. Persevere in prayer. Sometimes it's a little easier to persevere in frustration. We have that kind of language rehearsed, I just wish they would just, why can't they? It's easier to persevere in frustration sometimes than to persevere in prayer. I find it hard to, when I'm by myself, I find it hard to be... Let me try that again. When I'm by myself, it's harder to put on my holy face when I'm praying. God already knows that I'm frustrated when I am, or sad, or without a clue about what to do next, or whatever I am. And it's much harder to say, I know that you're at work and just be gracious when I'm by myself. Persevere in prayer. I think it's at those moments when we say, I don't know. I can't see. I'm worn out. That God really can begin to move. Sometimes that's the moment when you say, whew, maybe it's not my assignment. Maybe I can let my sister do that work. Not necessarily my sister Ann, but my sister, United Methodist Woman. Or maybe there's a new way to do it. Persevere in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints. You all are all over this. Contribute to the needs of the saints. Be generous. Be generous. We do it because it's who we are. Because we need to, not just because the saints need us. Extend hospitality to strangers. If you had a chance to participate in the jurisdiction meetings, you'll know that as I went from place to place last summer, I was busy saying that the work of care for the immigrant is one that we've been instructed to do since God first spoke to people. This extend hospitality to strangers means that people who are different from us. Now, that may be the person who lives on our street, maybe the the new kids in the program in school. It may be the new community across town. It may be a whole group of people who are coming from another country. We have a school for refugee children. We have a charter school that serves refugee families at Del Alam, one of our national mission institutions. And the languages, the tens of languages that those children speak are ones that you and I can't even read. They're not familiar letters. They're not. It's amazing. That's the way that United Methodist Women are extending hospitality to strangers, helping those children have skills and extend their capacities so that they can thrive in a totally different structure. Extend hospitality to strangers. Not because we have and they don't have, but because we need to extend hospitality to them. The text goes on in Hebrews to say, "For by such some have entertained angels unawares," referring back to way Old Testament, Abraham and Sarah entertaining angels unaware. But it characterizes the people of God. Extend hospitality to strangers. And it helps us extend concepts of mission. Because we're working on this, let love be genuine, let it be characterized by mutual affection. And if we don't extend hospitality to strangers, how can that affection ever be mutual? We need to be with each other in order to allow the gifts, the graces, and the needs that we have and that they have come into the community so that they can be addressed. Extending concepts of mission.